In this video today, I'm going to be going over PB Trading's $4.8 million authority funnel. Now, the whole aim of this video is I want to actually go into how he garners his traffic, how he actually is able to funnel his traffic, and also not least how he's actually able to convert his traffic to be making over $400,000 every single month. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, starting straight off with traffic. Now, PB Trading, he is very much on the same vibe as kind of Hudson Cosper. By the way, if you haven't seen, video should be right up here on the screen, but essentially just kind of pushing that lifestyle type of aspect where they push the supercars you could be driving if you make a lot of money, the places you could be staying at if you make a lot of money, the type of people you spend your time around if you make a lot of money. But if we just kind of hone in on his ideal client avatar, this is the ideal person that he's attracting through his content. And this is super important to understand, because once you understand this, marketing becomes so easy. It's really the first thing that we actually do for our clients is we find out what problems their audience has, what their goals are, what they have tried to do in the past to actually fix those problems, what more problems could they face trying to fix it on their own, what is their current situation, desired situation, so on and so forth. And of course, once you figure that out, it's really easy to kind of curate your content in a way that actually appeals to these people and it actually feels personal to these people and they feel like you're actually speaking to them specifically. Now, the current state for his ideal client avatar is they are most probably working a 9-to-5 or they're stuck in school. They're not making much money online just yet. They are most probably a not profitable trader. They are surrounded by average friends. They are also afraid of mediocrity. They barely travel at all. And they most probably still have a boss and no freedom. However, the aim and the goal when they watch PB Trading is that they feel this sense of motivation to make FU money online. They want to have the capacity to spend a lot of money. They are already a profitable trader in their dream state. They are driving nice cars. They do whatever they want. They have achieved that financial freedom. And last but not least, and most importantly, they do not have a boss, which means they work for themselves and they make FU money online without being told what to do by somebody else. Now, once again, the reason this is so important is because through his content, he's able to show his kind of before and afters. And with that, also able to sell the dream state for these people of what they could achieve by just listening to him and to get out of their current painful situation of their life being miserable and they absolutely hate their life. And if they keep watching PB Trading, they will eventually reach this dream end state. Now, if we just kind of break down his traffic sources, the main platforms he's on is Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if we just quickly take a look at his Instagram, which is probably one of the biggest platforms that he's actually on, but he's got about 332,000 followers. He's got a link in his bio, which we'll get into in just a second. But I want to take a look at these story highlights right here. Now, if you've watched my channel long enough, I do break down other people's funnels, people that you probably see on YouTube or on your TikTok feed. But story highlights are very important to actually converting and nurturing your audience. Now, if we just kind of take a quick look at what they are, he's got one where it's basically just linking them to a YouTube video explaining his story. The only reason this is important is because himself was in that current state and now he's in the dream state of his audience and he wants to kind of show them the transformation so they believe him more. The second story highlight is testimonials. This is important because it's obviously giving that element of trust, and it's also giving credibility, which is super important, especially if you're trying to charge someone $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 up front. The third one is YouTube. The reason he is funneling people to YouTube, and actually I'll get into this just later in the video, but it is honestly one of the strongest ways to actually convert people, but I will come back to this later in the video. And then these other three are basically, I'm guessing, his affiliates or his other project that he is working on. So it's just another way for him to liquidate and make more money through his personal brand. Now, his TikTok is roughly around the same. Just the only difference is he doesn't have a link in his bio on TikTok. Instead, he's funneling people to his Instagram, which I'll explain later in the video exactly why he is doing that and why it works super well. But it is basically posting around the same things on TikTok as he is on Instagram. The only reason that he is actually posting a lot of these types of short videos where it's him basically in front of the camera, nothing more, nothing less, a bit of lifestyle as well, is because it allows people to know, it allows people to like him, and it allows people to trust him. Now, Now, in order for someone to be able to buy from you, they do need to know, like, and trust you. I'm sure you've seen this in all other YouTube videos that you've watched. That is a funnel breakdown, but it is super, super important. And if we just kind of take apart the type of content that he's actually posting, we kind of get 4 different types of videos, which is B-rolls, lifestyle, FaceTime type of videos, and square type of videos. Now, the B-rolls are basically just kind of like before and after transformations with some music and effects over it just to make it look cooler. And the whole effect of this is really to just motivate the audience. Nothing more, nothing less, right? They're just entertaining to watch. They're easily digestible, and they are quite entertaining and motivating. The second one is lifestyle. Now, again, this is really the exact same thing. It just kind of builds that credibility that he actually has the money, and it also motivates his audience, because who the hell does not want to look and pretend like they are sitting on private jets and driving Porsche GT3 RSs, right? The third type of content is the FaceTime content. Now, this one is actually very popular right now since like 2025, 2026, and people are still running it to this day. And it works very well on TikTok more than Instagram, but it's really just holding up a phone in front of you and literally just speaking to the phone selfie style. The reason this works so well is because it's very personal, and it just feels, you're kind of on FaceTime to PB Trading, and he's just speaking to you about his circumstances, or maybe things that have happened in his life, or things that he has learnt that day, or maybe an idea that sparked in his mind and he decided to make a reel about it. Now, the only reason these work, again, is because they are very, very personal. They give an authentic vibe, and they usually end up giving the audience some type of value as well, whether that is just an insight or an idea that sparked in his mind. And it allows the audience to come to kind of epiphanies, and they're like, holy shit, I never even thought of that before. And then the last style of content is this square one. This one's been very popular recently as well, but it's basically just a caption at the top and then him in like a box basically, and him giving out some value. As you see on this one is basically don't give up on your dreams, which is more a sense of motivation. And then the one on the right, which I've put both of them in there for a reason, this one is more education, which is the truth about trading. The whole point of these is literally just to motivate the audience more and to also educate them. As you see, these also get significantly less views than all the other ones. Why? Because they're more bottom of the funnel, they're more educational, and they're not intended to actually blow up. They're more intended for that right type of exposure, not just overall exposure and virality. Now, when I promised you I will speak about YouTube, this is really where the source really is in this video. If there's anything you're going to take away from this video, it's this and the funneling part, which I'm going to get into in just a second. But essentially, he's got about 86.2 thousand subscribers on YouTube, which is actually a fairly large channel. And what he's posting right now, he's actually pivoted his content over some time. But as you see, we have a bit of a variety of content. So we have kind of like a top of the funnel type of vlog, which is a POV day in the life of a 22-year-old millionaire Austin vlog. And then the rest of them are just kind of him sitting in front of the camera, very minimal editing, giving out value. Now, the reason YouTube works so well is because of the 7-11-4 rule. Now, obviously Instagram, TikTok, email marketing, and all of these also link into the 7-11-4 rule. But honestly, YouTube is probably the biggest, for lack of better words, pusher for the 7-11-4 rule. The reason being is because the 7-11-4 rule is a Google research study that was conducted that in order for someone to become a potential buyer, they need to spend 7 hours engaging with your brand's content across 11 different touch points on 4 different platforms. And in this case, YouTube is going to be the one where they're going to consume the most amount of hours of your content. And it's where they really get to know, like, and trust you, just kind of drilling this into your head once more. Now, in order to actually convert from YouTube, not just get views and eyeballs, but actually get dollar amounts from your YouTube, and I don't mean AdSense, there is a particular structure that we follow with our clients, and it's split into 3 different pillars that I want you to copy and paste into your own brand. Now, the first one is top of the funnel content, which is basically the whole point of this content is just to get eyeballs. As you see, the video is buying a $400,000 Porsche GT3 RS at 21. This is going to appeal to anybody who's interested in either the car, the lifestyle, or just how the hell is a 21-year-old able to afford a $400K car. So this basically appeals to everybody, and it appeals to an unaware audience. These people have no clue who PB Trading is, most likely. They are plainly interested in otherwise the car, the fact that he's able to afford the car at this age, or just the lifestyle in general for maybe some sort of motivation or mental masturbation in this case, right? Now, the second thing this does is it also introduces the viewer to him, which is very important because this video is not aimed to actually convert. It's not aimed to make him a whole load of money. This video is aimed for exposure. There's a reason why he got 291,000 views. It's because it attracts everybody and it gives him so much exposure, gives him a lot of clout. And that way people will probably rewatch his videos, which is exactly why we split up into 3 different pillars. And last but not least, people actually get to know his personality more. And if in the video, his personality is attractive and they do like his persona, they will keep watching his videos and they most probably like that video and they'll get recommended more of his videos and they may even subscribe, which means they get recommended even more videos. And now the second type of content is the middle of the funnel content. Now this is more educational. As you see this video, it got maybe around half the amount of views as this one, but it still got a lot of views. And the video is this stupid simple strategy works every day. Stupid, simple, and proven. And all it is basically just him going through a chart and how to profitably trade. And what this does is it basically targets problem-aware people. These are people who know that they hate their situation, they want to get out of it, and they're thinking that trading may be the way for them to actually get out of their 9-to-5 or working full-time currently for someone else. And what he basically does in this 30-minute and 39-second video is he educates them on the actual model. And what that does is it also positions him as the authority. This is super important. And in my opinion, it's very hard to do that through short form, but it's really easy to do through long form. And if you're posting long form, creating that authority positioning is so easy. As long as you can educate someone, change their beliefs, and open their eyes to the possibility of a specific model, people will see you as the expert and the authority. And asking for $3,000 or even $5,000 potentially change their life is a lot easier than it is on short form, which is why authority positioning is super important, because it positions you as the expert, as the authority, as the person they should listen to, or even as the person who's literally going to take them out of their current life situation to that dream state that we went over previously in the video. And then last but not least, we have the bottom of the funnel. And the whole point of this is to not get a lot of views. The whole point of this is just to convert. As you see the videos, how this kid went from $0 to dream car with day trading. This one was posted 3 months ago. This one was posted 6 months ago, but this one got 64,000 views and this one got literally double the amount, right? So we can see significant change in the amount of views based on the video. And all this is literally a student interview from someone who onboarded with PB trading, got results, and ended up buying his dream car. Now, this targets the most aware people. Like, do you think everyone and their mum would be able to watch this video? They don't really care why this kid was able to go from 0 to dream car. Matter of fact, 1, the dream car isn't specified unless it's in the thumbnail. And 2, they don't care about this kid. It's not, I bought this car at the age of 21. It's this kid went from 0 to dream car. So it's not even speaking about himself. It's speaking about someone else. And no one really cares. Now, the only people that will watch this video is people who already know PB trading and that they've been watching his videos for a while. And they actually want to see whether he was actually able to transform not only his life of day trading, but someone else's, which in this case, it's this kid right here. Now, what this video also does is it introduces the viewer to the product. Because when people see that PB trading has obviously changed his life and they've watched these videos, they've consumed his content, now they're like, okay, cool, it's worked for him, but would it work for me? And this video introduces them to the fact that 1, PB trading actually sells a mentorship and he does mentor people for a fee. And 2, it also proves that the product works. This person has seen that not only did it work for PB trading, but it's also going to work for them. And if this kid, let's say hypothetically is 18 years old, if another 18-year-old kid from Hungary, let's say this one's from Hungary as well, sees this video, he's going to be like, wow, if this 18-year-old from Hungary was able to pull off day trading and make it out, you know, I guess the 9 to 5, me as an 18-year-old Hungarian kid is going to be able to do the exact same thing. I don't know why I picked Hungarian, don't ask me questions, but that was just an example. So really what this does is it allows the audience to actually relate to this person in this video, and it also proves that if he could do it, they could probably do it as well. Now, the way this content works is, I'll just break it down one more time, is the top of the funnel targets the unaware. The middle of the funnel targets the kind of problem aware that know that life is really crap and they want to get out of it. And then the bottom of the funnel really targets the people who are kind of solution aware, makes them more product aware. And then that's really where the opportunity is at the solution aware, where they most probably book a sales call and then get closed on that 3K, 5K offer. Now, I also tried to take a look at whether PB trading is running any ads and I wasn't able to find anything. I guess means that he's literally garnering all of his attention purely organically through Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And now if we move into the funnel phase, because it's very important that you understand that not only is he getting a lot of traffic, but how he's actually able to funnel this traffic into dollar amounts, as in clients who are paying him for his coaching. Now, what we have identified is that from his TikTok, he does not funnel straight to a landing page. Instead, he funnels from his TikTok to an Instagram profile. Now, why do you do this? Well, the first thing is he's able to post stories and document the process even more, where people believe him even more than they already do from his TikTok. And of course, you're not able to do that on TikTok. Another thing is people can message him to inquire regarding his trading program. And here, like, the TikTok messaging is honestly not really that good, and it's hard to kind of outsource as well. It's not that easy. Instagram is a lot more flexible with that side of things. And in general, I think TikTok is very much a exposure type of platform, whereas Instagram is a lot easier to convert on, and it's a lot easier to collect your leads right there and then, link it up to platforms like ManyChat, where you can just automate lead generation, where if someone comments something, you can send them something if they have commented a specific word, and it's just a lot easier to actually convert through Instagram. So I think he's done this very, very well. And if you are posting on TikTok, I'd highly recommend you don't funnel them to a landing page, funnel them just to your Instagram, keep the Instagram active, keep it going, and then you funnel them from Instagram to maybe your YouTube or straight to a landing page, which I'll get into in just now. Now, earlier in the video, I also mentioned that he is funneling people from his Instagram straight to a landing page right now. And honestly, in my opinion, I haven't seen that to work very, very well. What I have seen to work a lot better is actually funneling people from your Instagram over to a YouTube channel, where on that YouTube channel, they consume more of your content. And if they want to book a call, they can book in from your YouTube. And you can just have a setter in the DMs, nurturing and conversating with people on Instagram, and then sending over any sales assets that you post on YouTube. Because any videos that you post on YouTube, you can really just use them as sales assets. Like, you can use this to warm someone up on your brand and that you actually know what you're speaking about. And once someone is booked in on a call, you can send them something like this to actually warm them up on the fact that it is actually going to work for them. So you don't have that issue on a sales call where, like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I mean, if it worked for an 18-year-old Hungarian kid, I don't know if he's 18 years old and I don't know if he's Hungarian. But if that is the case, like, why would it not work for this person, you know? And it just kind of defeats those types of objections of like, oh, I don't know if this will work for me. So it's very, very important that you do post on YouTube. And then I would recommend just funneling them to YouTube through your link in bio, and then just conversating with them on Instagram as you have collected them as a lead already. And now, just before I get into his landing page, from his YouTube, he basically does the exact same thing. So from his YouTube, in every single description, you'll basically say, if you're looking to get mentored one-on-one inside the 1% mentorship and discover our strategy so simple, even your grandma could learn, go here to accelerate your pathway to profitability. And then it's just a link straight to his landing page. Now, you can ignore these links. These seem just like affiliates, so it's just extra cash for him, but this is really the one that we should be looking at, okay? And both of these links from his Instagram bio and from the link in his description of his YouTube videos goes to this page right here. Now, right off the bat, I can see this is actually a very well put together page, but if I was him, I would include some type of graphic just under that headline right here, because it does seem just a little too simple. But hey, if it's converting for him, it's converting for him. I like how he has the button in the top right here as well. And I like the wording that he has actually used in this landing page. So this page could get taken down at any moment. Just a little bit of urgency, right? Discover my simple, little known trading strategy, helping more than 7 new traders get their first payout every single week for over 417 days in a row, just by following a simple set of rules and working less than 2 hours per day. Now, what is this? This is basically saying that you are going to make money by working less than this. It's kind of just two contradicting statements that make the offer sound even better than you expected. And then there's a reason they highlighted this, because they're just saying 7 new traders get their first payout every single week for over 417 days, which is basically just a sense of credibility. Like, look, this only works not just now, but it's been working for the last year and however many days 417 days is. And then of course you have a button up here, you have another button up here. You have like 6 screenshots right here of people's profits and results. And then you have one more button at the bottom, and then just a little refund policy, privacy policy, and whatnot. Now, once you click either of these buttons, I'm pretty sure as soon as you open the page as well, it comes up with an opt-in like this. So it basically says your first step towards consistent payouts. Access this strategy before it's gone. And here they collect your name, they collect your email address, and they collect your phone number. And all of this is logged inside of the CRM, where they can keep following up with you, sending you emails, and sending you SMSs. So once you just click this button, you will automatically get redirected to this page right here. And as I said, I really like the look of their pages. I think it looks very, very clean. So whoever designed this, honestly, props if you're watching this video. But I like the sense of urgency they've added. Again, limited time opportunity, don't close this page. What that says to me is they know their audience very, very well, because if you were to use the same type of wording and you're selling to businesses, these guys would be like, yeah, this is full of shit. I know that this isn't a limited time opportunity. This is just a sales tactic. And it wouldn't work that much on business owners. Whereas they know they are selling to people who don't know that much about business. They don't know that much about funneling or sales. Therefore, they are basically saying this and they know it's going to work. So props to them, because they really do know their avatar really well. Now, the headline again, still stuck in the cycle of strategy hopping and emotional trading. Watch this video to break the cycle once and for all. And what this is right here is basically just a video sales letter, or in other words, a VSL. Now, and the whole point of this video is just to say what their situation was like before, what it is like right now, maybe what problems they went through to get to there, what their transformation actually was, and then what unique mechanism they used. And they just kind of tweak it just a little bit to where you think it was kind of valuable, but you still need more information. And if you want to apply for that, then you basically just need to apply to see if you're a good fit to become part of the 1%, and it just links you to a type form. If you don't know what a type form is, it is essentially just a survey or a form that you fill out that also has kind of conditional tracking. So if you answer one of these questions and you are deemed unqualified, it can redirect you to another part of the funnel, which is very, very convenient, especially if you're running a lot of volume. And I can imagine if these guys were to start running ads, they would make these type forms conditional, meaning that if you don't have like the budget, they would just redirect you to something else saying we'll reach out to you or something along those lines. But that's basically what type form is. And the whole point of this type form is to gather your experience, your goals, your struggles, and to make sure whether you're actually financially qualified to continue. And they start by asking you, are you already a day trader? And that's a yes or a no. Okay, first question. Second question is, are you familiar with trading? Or how familiar are you with trading on a scale from 1 to 10? The second question is, how familiar are you with trading on a scale from 1 to 5? 5 being most familiar. Then the third question is, what's your biggest motivation in turning profitable? This is just to kind of map out what your ideal circumstances are. And it kind of just allows you to affirm exactly what your goal is. So you're not just doing this just to make money. It's like the outcome is bigger than just making money. The fourth question is, what's your biggest struggle when it comes to trading? Now, I believe the only reason they're asking this question is because they genuinely want to find out what the selling point will be for you specifically. And if you were to say like, oh, the psychology, the sales call will be taken in that route of like teaching you how they help you overcome psychology problems and how you will be able to overcome them yourself. And then question 5 is, how much do you have set aside to invest in yourself, funded live accounts, and your trading journey? And then it just gives you a ballpark. So 0 to 1500, 1500 to 3K, 3K to 5K, and 5K plus. Whatever you put here, they'll know how much money you basically have to spend on their program. And then last but not least, I like this question. I would recommend including it earlier, but why do you want to join the 1% mentorship and get more help? And what this does right here is it allows people to just kind of sell themselves to the program and affirm why they should be accepted, making the program and the mentorship look more exclusive. Now, one thing that I would actually improve in this process is I would collect the information one more time. I would collect at least their first name and email address so you're able to kind of cross-reference that, because I know they collect it here, but I would collect it here as well, just because it'll make things a little easier inside of the CRM. That way it'll just be a bit easier to track, but hey ho, I mean, it's clearly working for them as well. And once you fill this form out, you actually don't get redirected to a page where you can book in for a sales call as you usually would with most other funnels I've actually broken down, but you actually get redirected to a confirmation page. And it basically says, wait, you're not done yet. Our team will be calling you from a +305 phone number ASAP to walk you through how to get onboarded. I like how they've included the +305, only because if most people get a call from a +305 number, they'd be like, all right, this is some call trying to pitch me something. But because they've said that, this team is probably calling that prospect within 5 to 10 minutes of actually applying. This person will know that this call is from PB Trading's team. So super, super smart. And then they have the watch this 2-minute video for what happens next. And they just kind of break down and set the expectation of what the next steps are going to be. So the prospect is crystal clear on what the process will look like and how they can potentially get onboarded into the 1% mentorship group. Then step 2 is go through a frequently asked questions below. And And then they have basically a video answering every possible objection a prospect could give them on a sales call, which is something we've implemented for our own clients as well. It works extremely well, and it's something that you can just use over and over again and send it to prospects that have just booked in a call freshly, because it just saves the closer's time and it saves your time, especially if you're the one closing the deals. Now this page is very, very long, so I'm not going to cover the whole thing. But then if you just keep scrolling, you get to step number 3, which is hear what other students have to say. And they have student interviews, and then they have a whole load of video testimonials for you to actually have a look at, even more interviews, and then a whole load of screenshots, which I'm not going to cover. This page is like super, super long. And that is basically it for the funneling. Now you're probably asking, how is this actually being converted? Well, this is basically what happens after you apply for the mentorship. Step 1, the backend will probably receive a Slack notification, something along the lines of like a new lead has opted in or a new type form has filled out. It will say your name, it will say your email address, your phone number, and what your budget particularly is, because you've answered this question right here, question 5, right? On what your budget is. And then it will say who maybe which setter that lead is actually assigned to, and that setter will give that lead a call within 5 to 10 minutes. Now, step number 2 is the prospect will be DM'd and emailed by automation, not necessarily the setter doing that, but it'll basically be like, congratulations, not necessarily your free training is here, but something along those lines, you're one step closer, something like that. And there may be sent an SMS also confirming that as well, because sometimes emails don't always deliver, and SMSs, although they can be quite expensive at large amounts of volume, they are very, very rewarding, especially if you use it inside of your opt-in funnel. And this only just kind of doubles down that the lead has seen the message, and they may even wait on a reply to this DM right here. And once the lead has replied to the DM, they will immediately call the lead, because they know they are an active and hot lead that's just ready to get closed. Now, step number 3 is they actually need to book the lead in on a call. So the setter or the SDR will call the prospect. They will get more context on their situation based off all of the answers they gave in this type form right here. And they will also financially qualify them. So they'll say something along the lines of like, so you mentioned you had about 1,500 to 3K to actually put towards your trading journey. Is that right? Is that something you have liquid on you right now? Or is that something like you think you can put towards, just not right now? And the main reason they want to do something along those lines is because they just want to financially qualify this person and make sure that when they get on that sales call to be closed, they actually do have the money to give to the closer, or to obviously PB trading in this case. And then if they are financially qualified, they will be booked on a sales call with the closer. And if they're not financially qualified, what they will do is send sales assets, which may be YouTube videos, in order to just kind of recycle that lead. And potentially this lead will just wrap back around when they have more money, or when they are just more committed to actually make that decision. So in that case, they're not just putting every single lead to waste if they're not financially qualified. And then last but not least, once the call is booked, leading up to the sales call, here's really what the process looks like. The prospect will be put into a group chat with a setter or the closer in most cases. Again, I'm not going to book in a sales call with them. I'm not going to waste their time, but they'll probably create a group chat. And in that group chat, the setter, the lead, and the closer will all communicate in that group chat. There will also be manual and automated reminders being sent out to the person, in which this case it could be 24 hours with an email and SMS reminder, 12 hours with an email and SMS, 1 hour with an email and SMS, and 5 to 10 minutes before the call with an SMS saying something along the lines of like, hey John, just wanted to let you know I'm on the call, so let me know whenever you're ready. Here's the meeting link. Let me know when you're inside and I'll let you in. And that just kind of confirming that they are actually on the call and the call is going to happen. Now, in a sales call, it's going to be one of 3 outcomes. It's always going to be a no-show, the deal will get closed, or it will not close. Now, if it is a no-show, they will just be followed up with, reinitiated to just book a call again. If it's not closed, they'll just be sent more content and value to consume, to then be recycled further down the line. They'll also be logged inside of the CRM to stay in touch with if it's not kind of like a, I'll continue right now, but I'll continue tomorrow or next week. And if they are closed, then obviously they just become a client. And in this case, PB Trading makes the dollar on that person. And all of this is logged within the CRM as well. It's very, very easy to do this. You can do this on Google Sheets as well, but the CRM works just perfectly fine. CRMs like Closed or HubSpot or Go High Level, there's plenty that you can actually use. But basically, that is all for PB Trading's $4.8 million authority funnel. If you've enjoyed this video and you want help installing these exact type of systems into your business, I'll have the first link in the description where you can book in for a business audit call with me. There, I literally go over your business, see if there's any bottlenecks that are stopping you from making more money, and maybe we just solve that on the call right there and then, or maybe we can even have a conversation about me and my team coming into your business and helping you make more money by installing these systems for you. But other than that, I thank you for watching till the end. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.